And as always, thank you to Ben, who is somewhere not here. He's the proprietor of this wonderful space, the Great Lakes Gaming Lounge. So when he's back, you can give him a round of applause. We actually have a surprise presentation from him, so he'll be going at the end of our three presenters today. Thank you to the rest of the Startup Grind team: Mike, Nate, Anand, Jack, Adam, Josh. I think that's everybody. Oh, Dustin. Dustin's the new guy. All right. So as always, feel free to get up, go to the bathroom, grab some beer, grab some pizza, do whatever you need to do. Just try to be quiet during the presentations. The rules are pretty simple. We have 10 minutes for the presentation. Nate will be keeping time on his wonderful tablet for the presenters, so when that gets to 0, you gotta stop wherever you are. And then, there's Ben. Everyone give Ben applause. Thank you for letting me introduce me to my book. And 5 minutes for audience Q&A. So as the audience, please queue your wait for your questions until the end. The bathrooms are in the hallway back there. And if you have any friends who might want to pitch, or who might want to partner with us either on food, alcohol, other events, we're trying to do things that are not pitches. So if you have any ideas or any connections or anything, we would love to chat with you about them. You can talk to myself, Mike, any of the crew that I just described. And I think that is it. So without further ado, SmartShip is going to be our first presenters. So there's 3 of them. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Come on up.
Good evening, everyone. As you heard, we are SmartShip. I just want to say thank you so much for having us here tonight. So let's get right into it. SmartShip, effortless returns from your doorstep. I'm Ariana Hilliard, the CEO. This is Jason Carter, the CFO. And last but not least, Ro Mendy is the COO. 263 million. That's the amount of Americans that shop online. And 95% of consumers will buy from a brand again if returns are easy. Last year, 43% of shoppers bracketed a purchase. You might be wondering what's bracketing? Well, simply, I buy 3 sizes of the same pants while planning to return the other 2. In 2021, shoppers sent back $218 billion in merchandise that they bought online. That was up from $100 billion just the previous year. So the problem? Returns take valuable time out of your day. Why can you have something delivered with a simple click of a button, but now when you need to return it, you have another monotonous task added to your day, from packaging, labeling, driving? No one wants to do that. So SmartShip picks up packages from your doorstep the same day. We've done 155 interviews and 25 returns. And Thomas said, I won't return anything under $100 because it is important to hassle. And Gabrielle said, a service like this enables me to be more confident and take more risks when shopping online.
To tell you a little more about the customers we're targeting, there are primarily 2 kinds, the consumers and the business and customers. The consumers, we primarily target professionals and young parents because both archetypes share a long list of responsibilities and expectations, but they have very little time. So they really want a service that's immediate and time-saving. On the business end, we target small businesses or medium-sized businesses because they cannot really afford these shipping companies like FedEx and UPS that take up such a big share of their revenue and hence dilutes their profits. All these industries and all these customer archetypes are actually part of the United States retail logistics market, which is like $208 billion. It's a big market. Does anyone want to guess why it is so big? I'll give you a guess. It has to do something with Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah. We buy 1.6 billion products from Amazon every single day. And we end up returning about at least 15% of that merchandise. It's a big, big industry. New York State, which is our country, contributes about $8 billion to this industry, and all these archetypes that I mentioned earlier generate $400 million in revenue. So there's a big potential there.
So for online shoppers who don't have time or the ability to drive and need to return an item, SmartShip picks up items from your doorstep. Unlike competitors, you do not have to drive to a physical location.
So if you're a consumer, what do we offer you? We offer you the convenience that you just pull out your phone, tap a couple of times, and we'll have someone pick up your packages right from your doorstep. The courier is to wherever it needs to go, whether it's UPS or an online direct retailer. We package it up for you, we box it up for you, we do the shipping. It's also insured. In case you live in a place where, let's say, you're concerned about bushfires, we will have some boxes for you. Now, we cannot insure these boxes against your toddlers, but we assure you no other bushfire will get into it. How do we make this work? Our business model is a flat fee model. We charge you $5 for the entire box, which includes shipping. If you have your own shipping label already, let's say possibly from Amazon, you've got free shipping, we reduce this $10 figure and charge you less. We courier it to wherever it needs to go, and that's it. Then whenever it gets delivered, you will get a notification.
And as for our competitive advantage, you can see we do it all. We offer something that none of our other competitors are doing, and that's a one-click seamless return from your doorstep. If you wanted to schedule a return with DoorDash, you'd have to package it yourself. If you chose to have your returns, you have to go to a physical location. And as for UPS, you have to fill out a form that looks like this, and this. And by the time you get done filling out this form, your pickup time is not even guaranteed. And as for our marketing, you might have actually seen one of our flyers. We have our flyers posted up at local UPS stores in Pittsburgh and Henrietta, as well as we're also doing door-to-door sales in local neighborhoods with a Rochester. We have also been speaking to Deanna Colombo over at Robert Hill to try facilitating bulk returns for her employees. Right now, we're trying to get her foot into the door and work with this location. And as for our next steps, we want to onboard more small and medium businesses to facilitate their shipments, as well as even doing bulk returns for them. And we want to test various advertising methods to see which channels work best for our target consumer. The ads, we want some connections to small and medium-sized businesses, as well as we want to have some connections to digital marketing talent here. And we also need some legal advisors that can help us facilitate and give us a legal entity for our business. Thank you for listening to us, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
This is literally speaking to me. So hard. And it's amazing. So I need to sign up.
Yes.
And so does my mom. Big time. Because he's returning my stuff for me. So do you, like, what do your vehicles look like? How many do you have? Like, what's the deal?
Right now, I'm our only driver.
Wow.
It's a small sedan, but we're going to get another vehicle next week and bring it back to Rochester with us. So
That's an SUV.
Yeah, we have an SUV.
Cool.
As with an SUV, and we'll be rolling out our platform, because it looks like the Uber app soon, so then you'll have a lot of vehicles.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's say I have the app and I order it and I want my return. Is it same day? How does that whole process work?
So when you sign up, you schedule your return or whatever it is. And we, like our driver will be there within an hour's window. So if it's, let's say tomorrow at 9 a.m., the driver will be there behind us.
Whoever. We'll just go
Join.
online.
Okay, two very different questions. How is your value proposition for like SMBs look? And two, what are your plans to scale your operations?
I'm sorry, what was the second part?
The second one, how would scaling your operations look?
Okay.
Long
On
term?
to the first one. Well, the value prop, I'll just say, was kind of like crap because we had to use it specifically for IT last week. We're just focusing on the SMBs now because we had some advice from one mentor.
just to add on to that, if you're a small business, what you really want are customers with high lifetime value, so you want them to return frequently. And how do you make that happen? You need to provide them a really convenient source to return what they do not like. So that's what you're offering them. Adam?
So 2 questions. The first one is, do you have like an area of service? Would you take somebody in Finger Lakes, or like what's your sort of region that you play with? And the second one is, what's your cost of service?
Cost of service?
Yeah, because if you're doing 1 delivery per hour, that means your driver gets $10 per hour, assuming so. So how does that work?
Right. So right now we are operating in the greater Rochester area. Wherever you are in this area, we can serve you. Number 2, you talked about cost of service. So right now we are a small operation, but we are getting bigger. And as we get bigger, we actually have a ride-sharing model. So we will have a lot of drivers that are actually not employed full time. And if there is an area that has a lot of items to be picked up, that area will have a very, relatively speaking, very low cost of operation. So that's how we scale up and keep ourselves profitable.
What kind of like insurance do you have? Like, so if say something goes missing or someone like does the whole return scam thing, like how are you A, guaranteeing that the returns that you take are making it and getting like the money getting back to the consumer, and B, how are you protecting yourself from fraud?
Right, so we actually partner up with FedEx, UPS, or USPS, and because we're doing bulk movements, they give us really good discounts. And they also take care of the insurance part. So we just did a return and we insured that package of $255. That's completely administered, operated, handled by USPS. Like we just completely outsource that.
Yeah.
So I was what you was asking. With the ride sharing, right? You're competing for drivers. So how do you convince drivers to drive for you guys instead of like DoorDash, Uber Eats, stuff or other ways they can make money?
Right. So for the driver, this is a gig, and
Yeah.
drivers typically do multiple gigs at the same time. So if they're going to a neighborhood, they can just like drop by 2 houses down the lane and pick up something, make extra bucks.
Yeah, we definitely want to leverage those type of workers, but also throughout our interviews, we've heard that people don't like Ubering because they don't like strangers in their car. Or DoorDash, Uber Eats, people seem to be okay with that, but they're like, you know.
So for the pickups, does the person have to be there to give you the item?
Not necessarily.
No,
Okay.
yeah, people just can leave it out in their porch area. If they're comfortable, of course, that's why we're looking towards prototyping that one.
Yeah, that's,
so.
yeah. 'Cause I mean, like with Amazon, it's like they just drop it in front. If somebody steals it, they just eat the loss.
Yeah.
But it's, but that's tough when you're starting out.
Yeah.
Or it's like, how good of a driver is he? Is he going to be running into a tree or?
He's not.
So far, we don't know that. But he's,
And, and one other thing too is that you're talking about with like the small businesses, we're talking about returns for them. It's like, have you also thought about, it's like, there's probably a lot of small businesses that don't have like the shipping part set up, like
Yeah.
pick up stuff that they want to go outbound as well. You can kind of double up. You bring in a return and take one that's going out. I mean, I know they can package it up and have UPS pick up every day or whatever, but you know, it's again, if you package it all as one thing, where you can do the returns, and if you already have the relationships with the shippers,
Right.
you can offer that service to them too.
We got time for one more.
Last question.
What kind of marketing platforms are you looking to branch out for your?
I'll just say that our digital marketing needs help. Our Instagram is weak, our TikTok is horrible. So any digital marketing help we would greatly appreciate.
I'm gonna talk to you guys.
All right, sweet.
All right. Thank you. Wonderful. Smart ship. That All right, up next is Impassioned Art with Rachel. Give it up for Rachel.
It's, you need to,
Perfect. All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Rachel Coutant, and my brand is Impassioned Art. Today I'm going to just be pitching my brand to you and reasons to work with me. So, what is Impassioned Art? Under the umbrella of what I do involves photography, social media management, and workshops. For photography, I offer 3 primary aspects for my photography. The first are color portraits, what you'll see here in these first 4 images. These are images where I match my client's outfit to the background and I bring really fun props, and these are full of vibrancy and personality. I also offer boudoir, so lingerie, nudes, anything to help people feel comfortable in their bodies. And then I also offer commercial photography. So I work with breweries, nonprofits, small businesses, local artists, and more. For social media, currently I'm working with Explore Naples, New York, which is a nonprofit to promote tourism in the Naples, New York area. Here I have a picture, a screenshot from our Instagram page, which is curated by me. All of the captions, all of the imagery is done by me. I do photography for them, and then I have some stats here for reels and the end reach that we're getting right now. And finally, for workshops, I offer at Luck Duck Studio, a local studio that I know has pitched here before. I do workshops called self-portraiture and self-discovery. These workshops include conversation about the benefits of self-portrait and how that can help you internally as an individual and also with creativity at large. So what's my vision with all of this? All of those things are great as is, but what's the drive behind it? So my artist statement is, my goal as an artist is to be a living permission slip and a channel of expression. Through my creative work, I aim to invite others into self-reflection, creating spaces in which people feel safe and empowered to just be. And so through things like photography, through workshops, and through social media, I aim to bring that artist vision through and channel through. So why is this relevant right now? First of all, we live in a very visually demanding society. When you think about any of the brands that you use or anything that catches your eye while you're scrolling through social media, it is all visual based. I mean, for example, I love music, but if I see an album cover that I don't vibe with, that's matched with a song that I love, I will go so far as to not listen to that music anymore. That's how visually driven I am. Also, look at this slide. It's the first one without visuals on it. How much less interested are you in what I'm saying right now? Visuals are a really big part of our presentation of ourselves and of our companies. Second of all, we live in a very patriarchal world, and that encourages pretty much everybody to be disconnected from themselves. And so my work and the passion behind it is to channel self-celebration in a society that really doesn't encourage it for any genders. So how do I want to bring that solution about? So through my photography, social media, and workshops, my interest is to empower and transform the collective through the individual. So by highlighting the individual's passion, the individual's uniqueness, the individual brand's authenticity, then I truly believe and have seen it create ripples through society. Friends groups, family, anyone around you, if you're doing that internal work, you'll see that extend to the people around you. Because I don't believe that life is made in a vacuum, but I do believe that as we work on our individual selves, the community changes as well. I also believe in collaborative creativity, so with working with small businesses and nonprofits, I approach it in a very authentic, collaborative way. My target market is specifically, first and foremost, the LGBTQ community. It's very underrepresented, very much in need of folks that are willing to focus and celebrate on that community. Individuals that are seeking self-love and trying to get used to being in their own bodies, and small businesses and nonprofits because they have very similar values as to me. They work for themselves. They are looking for authentic assistance to promote their businesses. And these are some of the businesses I have worked with. So why is impassioned art a good solution for all of this? Well, I'm queer myself, and I have a whole story about coming out and what all of that looked like, and so I'm relatable to my first audience. I am passionate about authentic sharing, so I have built my own social media platform through being vulnerable about my own life. So I don't ask my clients to do it without me setting the example first. I also have the priorities of consent, of communication, of collaboration, and active listening, and being of a business mindset. And so I want to do things in a way that's clear for my clients and also highlights how they want to be highlighted. I bring in my own creativity alongside their desires and their visions, and we really make it a collaborative work. I'm very clear on my posing and my process when it comes to specifically photography. So I end up having a lot of clients that feel awkward in front of the camera, and I love those clients because I am passionate about making the experience easeful for them. I'm very clear on the posing down to what your eyebrows are doing, down to what your mouth is doing. And by the end, I've had so many people say that they felt so safe and comfortable when they came in feeling so anxious. When it comes to process, I'm unique in my services based on the fact that I allow people to pick their final images. A lot of photographers will just edit and give you what they think are best, but it's really important to me that the individuals paying for the service get the photos they actually want. And color, when it comes to being in a society that is very visually based, my colorful photography does cause people to stop and take a second look and notice what you're about. I've had my stuff in print in magazines. I even have it. One artist that I've worked with had one of the images I took of them on packaging in Walmart. And so the photography it's an eye catcher, and it looks really good in print, and it's just a good reason. If you're looking for your business to catch eye, I offer nice color. And then finally, I have a unique approach to boudoir. So when it comes to that more intimate types of photography, my approach is to not over-feminize, to not over-beauty-tize, if that's a word I just made up. But to go through all of that, to me, feels like it leaves a lot of people out. And so my passion is to offer that type of photography for a wide variety of genders and gender expression so that more people feel safe in their bodies. So I just, real quick, want to read a couple of testimonials to you. Working with Rachel on my brand photos has been awesome. I felt like my vision was heard, celebrated, and expanded on throughout the process. Have you ever seen a photograph of yourself that matches what you think the inside of you looks like? Ever felt vibrations from an artist while you're standing next to them and you're like, damn, they get it? That's what Rachel Couton offers the entire world. Being trans, it can be difficult to see myself as I see myself. So know the weight it carries when I say I see myself in these photos. Rachel captured my essence when I am at my most powerful and handsome. My body is not woman or man. It's not good or bad. It's 100% certified Abby. All right, and so that's where I want to end. I have a lot of other testimonials that you can find on my website and on my social media, but thank you so much, and I hope to work with you. Yes?
How do people find you currently? How are you getting the clients?
Mostly social media. I have a pretty big presence, or at least a very consistent presence on Instagram in particular. And lately I've been focusing more on TikTok to build discoverability. Yeah?
This is would you be interested in working with like some startups that Startup Brand has, like through our pipeline basically, to help create any kind of promotional media? Like, should we be looking to partner with you as a resource that we can point people to if they're looking for photographers?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. That's good. We're always trying to grow our,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned nonprofits a couple of times in the
Yeah.
presentation. So I might have missed it, but do you not work with businesses that try to make profit?
Oh, I said small businesses and nonprofits. So either, I say nonprofit because I currently work with a nonprofit, so that's something I feel comfortable with, but I'm not limited to that.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yeah.
If you fast forward to like your future,
Yes.
where do you see yourself? Like, where do you want to grow this? Because I saw there were like you do lots of things.
Yes.
If there was like a thing you're going to be like known for across the planet, what's that going to be?
I would love, well, there's a couple of things. I specifically am actually just starting to get people reaching out about more workshops, which is really exciting for me. Like, I have a retreat next year that is hiring me to come and do this workshop and do photography. I'm really excited about that. But also, so I would love to be doing more teaching, and also I would love to be working with more artistic expressions of photography. So I would love to be traveling, and I would love to be working with more musicians and other individuals that want more fully artistic statement images. Does that make sense?
It does right now.
So are you planning on it just being you going forward, or are you trying to find other like-minded people to work with you, or?
I'm always looking for people to partner with. I'm basically always looking for different clients, and I definitely have partnered with other creatives, and I'm in the process of doing that. But basically, I just want to keep growing my own business to continue to be sustainable. I'm in year 2 of working for myself full-time, so it has been sustainable, but I'm just looking to increase clients.
Well, I mean, like if you're starting to do classes and things like that, I mean, could you train people to say you provide the content, how to do it, and get so you could do more.
It's the 7-step and passion-powered process.
I
You too can.
am less interested in that because my workshops in particular are very much grounded in my own background and my story and the personality of it. And so I would rather keep that to be just me. But I am, when it comes to like small businesses and nonprofits, I am looking to get more clients that pay monthly so that I can be working on social media and photography monthly with different organizations.
Yeah, it's always good to have steady, repeatable income.
Yes.
Have you considered integrating AI art into your photography, because then you'll be able to do a lot of artistic expression that you can't even do physically?
I have. I do a lot of stuff right now through Photoshop, and I know that there are some interesting AI tools that they've brought in there, so I'm interested in playing more with those. Currently, I use a little bit of AI when it comes to editing photos. It's just an AI denoising process, but I don't like to manipulate how people look much at all. I want it to be more authentic, but I do surrealism as well, and so there I am more interested in the AI using that. Yeah.
You do work in self-portraits.
I do.
Do you have a tip for something that could benefit? I think of I don't know if I'm looking at this the wrong way, but I do take pictures of myself as like selfies. Is there like a 101 teaser of a general tip that everyone can kind of improve if they're thinking about self-portraits of
Call her.
I would say come to my self-portrait.
All right. Maybe I'm trying to get something for free.
Wonderful, and learned something about Mike today. He loves taking selfies. He's not very good at it, clearly. All right, so for our final official presentation, we still have the guest host of Ben later. We will turn to Road Beers with Sullivan and Cassidy. So here we go. Yo.
Hey.
Yo. How you doing?
Give props.
We do it prompts.
Not by design, but by convenience.
Starts off. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I'm Cass. So, quick question. What brands of beer or wine do you typically see at a wedding or festival? Local festivals, yeah.
What's going on?
Woodbridge.
What was it?
How is it, right?
Delicious Corona and Modelo's.
Yeah, fun stuff. So if given the choice, would you pick one of these or would you pick a local? That was a trick question.
Cherry White.
Obviously, yes. But if you said no, it's probably because you have the accessibility or the chance to try it or experience that experience in the local craft.
We've heard had people say no,
Yeah.
and we were like, well,
God.
you're allowed. It's okay to be wrong. You can be wrong.
You're not allowed.
Yeah. We're here to help. So we want to pitch to you Road Beers, which is our company. About 5 years ago, I was at Jazz Fest, and I was trying to get a beer, and all I could find was Bud Light and Corona and Budweiser, and I was like, I'm at a Rochester festival. Why, in God's name, can't I find a Rochester beer? Especially for a...
Because the others paid for placement. That's why.
Yeah, that's true. But also, like in a city where we have one of the highest per capita breweries per capita in a small city in the United States, I should be able to have the choice to find a local beverage if I want. So our mission with Road Beers is to serve the best of local and regional beer, wine, and cider, and connect these brands, these smaller beverage creators, with the community and the people of Rochester and the surrounding areas in a way that's super fun, super personable, and while still being high end and like kind of just like fancy and vibey, and gets them excited about whatever event or venue they're in, while also getting them excited about where they can go in their community after they find out that they actually exist.
So, when you picture a mobile tap room, what do you picture?
Do you guys know what a mobile tap room is? By chance? What is a mobile tap room?
Yeah, I know what is mobile bar.
What do you picture it?
It's like a van or something with moving.
Those little something like this?
Yeah.
So like one of these?
Maybe like a.
Or those cheesy people at weddings that hand out really, really crappy stuff that gives you a horrible headache.
Right.
We've seen, yeah. So a lot of mobile tap rooms that we've seen coming out right now are a little more like this. There's usually a truck. There's one actually locally, which is kind of dope. But it also more serves more like imports, domestic beers,
Or just one brand.
or just one brand of like local.
And there's normally no people, and you just see it.
Yeah.
It's very
A lot of it's-
informal.
a lot of it's
and
self-serve.
Yeah.
And they have
Very nice people, but horrible.
Well, horrible selection.
Horrible selection. So Road Beers is a little bit more like this. So it's got a 60s vintage camper that is retrofitted into a full bar manned by actual people that are there to give you the stories behind each of these crafts. It's got kind of a tropical grunge vibe with pinks and oranges and greenery and neon. So it kind of goes with wherever you're at, honestly. It's not really a niche thing. That's what we've been seeing is like the farmhouse look, which is very just white and basic and kind of safe.
Yeah.
Right?
This is it's really bold. It's
But
kind of
the
different.
thing about it is that it's all hand selected by us, good research, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Hand selected local regional wine beers and ciders. It's looking for any big or small event, executive, wedding, local festivals, really anything you can apply to a unique alcohol out there.
Yeah.
So the people up there in the top corner, like, it's not exactly that. It's more of a full bar and an interior and an exterior, like what's the one here.
Yeah.
That's basically the one we have that we're renovating to look like this vibe.
Yeah. We're working with an awesome local interior designer who's putting together a design and a layout, kind of like making the space pop. This already area is just kind of mood board stuff, but we're going to work with a lot of local artists to put local pieces within the space that are just kind of like fun and pithy that kind of like add to this vibe that makes people want to be in this space.
It's very approachable.
It's a photo. It's like a photo op.
It's a photo op. It's a conversation piece. You know, you're gonna walk up to it 3 times and be like, "That's funny." And take a picture and share it. It's not boring.
One of the reasons why we want to do this is because, like, who wants to drive out to Bristol, go to Irish Mafia, like drive out there and then to drink a whole bunch, or just to try and then have to drive all the way back to the city, or Gananda. Yeah, you do, of course.
Oh, sorry.
I do.
Yes.
But a
You
lot
said
of
want
people
to.
aren't going to do that. A lot of people are staying in their comfort zone, and a lot of these smaller breweries and wineries and cideries are kind of they're kind of stuck in their own community, where like the people who are around them and pass by them every day, they know that they're there, but the people in the surrounding area, they're not going to come all the way from Rochester or all the way from Syracuse and Buffalo to try to visit these smaller places. So what we want to do is help get the stories out. We're not only going to be selling their beer there and their wine and their cider, we're also going to be partnering with them and having like branded coasters, branded little pieces, selling their merch and stuff like that, telling their stories, the stories behind the beers and the specific things that like make them them. So this is that added value that we're bringing to our partners.
So a main reason why we even went this direction is because due to COVID, it kind of changed the whole culture around the way we go about hospitality and, curbside delivery, not doing private events instead of going in and crowding these places, food trucks at a huge surge, all these things at a huge surge, and not to mention the shelf space in big box stores being taken up by huge import businesses. And then if you have a craft section, it's kind of just like overwhelmingly crowded with so many different brands that you're too afraid to buy because you haven't tried it yet. You've never been to that place. You don't have a story behind it. You don't have a connection to it. But with over 500 craft breweries and cideries and wineries, I mean, the possibilities are endless, and we're there to introduce them slowly and break down those barriers and give that story and bring more people through their storefronts. So not really benefiting just ourselves. We're trying to benefit and bring the whole community together.
Yeah, and a lot of breweries are moving in the direction of a little bit more mobile tap rooms for themselves, but that's still kind of like limited to just their supply. One thing that we love is that we can bring a collection of, from this brewery, from this winery, from this cidery, and bring them all together and kind of create a menu and a story around that.
Right, and then furthermore, like the future plan is, pending litigation and all that stuff is e-commerce, so that when you're at a wedding, you're at a festival, you're not from the area, and you like this thing that you tried and you want more of it, but you don't have time to go to this place out in the middle of nowhere, New York, and get some more, you can go on our shop and order it from them and deliver it to your door. And there's a litigation going on with that since COVID happened, so
Yeah.
let's wait for that.
So what are we looking for right now? We're looking for people to engage with us. So you can follow us on Instagram at Road Beers Rock. There's nothing there. Yes, there will be something there. You can also check out our website at roadbeersrock.com. There's also nothing there. But eventually there will be. Stay tuned. It's happening. Actually, no. In all seriousness, what we're looking for is we are looking for some investors to help us pad a little bit of the cost of renovating the camper and
Also just to gain a following and for people to get interested and start planning.
Yeah,
their
tell your
events and
friends,
be like,
and if
okay,
you
like,
have-
I'm gonna need that in 2024.
and if you have events happening in 2024 and you want to have a bar service that is a little bit more, has a little bit more of that local love and a little bit more of that, a little more of energy and vibes, then talk to us.
And us, because we will be there.
We'll also be there.
Yeah, we'll be there.
And sampling.
Yes.
And,
Researching and sampling.
Yeah.
Yes, all the important things. All right.
Thank you so much.
So I assume you're aware you're going to be at the Rock City Brew Festival, right?
Tomorrow night?
Yeah.
No. We're looking to be up and operational by.
No, but I mean,
No,
like, to
even
get,
just us personally, you know.
because it's like, you're gonna have like most every
Right.
microbrewery from the
He'll be
area
there.
around.
I will be there.
Yeah.
It's like, because I mean, it's like with this, it's like, are you guys trying to connect with
Yes.
microbreweries and
Going
wineries?
for, like, we
We
have to
talking-
be more intimate and going straight to the brewery and kind of seeing it and like
Yeah.
living it.
When we say we're doing research, it means that we are going to breweries and wineries.
So you got a designated driver to get you home?
Drinking everything that they have and saying, we like this, hey, by the way, here's our card.
Or do you have like a camper area in the back of the?
Yeah. No, we've talked to several cideries, wineries, and breweries, and it's been really,
But I mean, like,
really awesome, really excited about
I'm
it.
just saying, like, tomorrow night would be a good time to go and get
Yeah.
connections and
It will
set up,
be,
you could set up
yeah.
times to
You
meet
gonna
with
be there?
them and, no, unfortunately, I'm gonna be off doing something with my wife, but otherwise I would be there.
How, like, far out in the region are you looking for breweries you want to partner with? Like Finger Lakes or just Rochester?
Right now, we're thinking the Tri-City area.
Okay.
Because that's one of the things too, is there's some amazing Buffalo breweries, there's some amazing Syracuse breweries, and wineries by Syracuse that, like,
Also,
we just don't even
furthermore,
know.
the plan is to franchise and go into other major cities that are heavily focused on breweries and cideries.
I was just thinking with like,
Cleveland, you know.
well, I was even thinking like, because I work
Austin,
with Explore
Texas.
Naples.
What?
But I work with Explore Naples, and there's lots of breweries and wineries out there too.
It's true.
Yeah.
Great town, so.
Yeah. There's so many wineries.
Just
out there.
low populations that people don't necessarily go through unless it's for a great festival.
Yeah.
So,
You know, like Naples also it relies a lot on tourism, and it would be sick for them to not rely so much on that. And be able to have people just like from the
Coming
surrounding
through because they
areas.
saw
Like,
the wedding
yeah,
or something.
they're really good.
yeah.
Yes, Nate.
What I guess what's your process? So are you looking at kegs, are you looking at bottles, are you kind of doing distributors? Like what is that? Are you trying to do samplings? Are you trying to do full events? Like that was the one place where I kind of got lost when it comes
Well, we
to
kind of left it open and there was a few questions.
Yeah.
Because we knew that question would come up. So
Yes, kegs. We're trying to for beers and ciders. We're doing kegs. For wines, we're doing bottles. So we'll have a setup that's got about 5 or 6 kegs underneath, and we can kind of like pour those. Probably usually per event, we're gonna hopefully have 4 beers, 2 ciders, and then about 5 wines.
Yeah. And it'll either be open bar or per head and kind of the event, and the menu was kind of decided on either us or the customer.
And yes, you can do flights. We're gonna work with
Tastings,
we're gonna
flights.
work with a local kind of like reverting place that does create custom flights for us that'll have like the different like logos and stuff.
So your primary point of contact would be local distributors and like the sales reps that go around.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need connections, you know.
We will.
Awesome.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
You go first.
Do you have a license yet? And what does your licensing look like? Are there certain places you can serve, certain places you can't? Have you figured all that out? Because I think there's great if you
License-
serve anywhere.
We're starting off beer, wine, and cider. We do want to eventually move into spirits and stuff. For this right now, it's kind of positioned as a catering company. So for events, for like weddings and events like that, it's really just a matter of being hired and having a contract that says this person hired us, and we have the licensing to go.
Okay. Can you park? Are there only certain types of events you can do? Can you park anywhere for like a block party or like other things? Like how does that work?
We will, and it depends on if we can partner with physical locations at those at those spaces.
At first, and then it'll once it grows, it'll become
Selling the public. It's being hired by somebody.
I got you.
So how much do you expect to charge for, say, like a wedding or like a large like party type event?
So it depends on if it's open bar or if it's cash bar. So if it's open bar, it's 50 a head. Because we're not asking about 5 years there. And I've got 9 to 10 per drink. So just to capture all of that, 50 a head for open bar.
Yeah.
Cash.
Actually, I have a question. On how long have you been working on this? And do you have any sales
Not yet. We have our LLC up and running. We're getting, we have our camper. We're getting renovated. We're getting our licensing and everything set up. And
Yeah, there's just a lot of excitement.
Yeah, right now we're getting amped about it, and we'll be up and running by spring next year, starting our first, probably March or April. It'll be our first events.
How long have you guys been working on this?
Well, I started the company actually back in 2020, and then the world shut down for a little while. And so then, we
You didn't go into delivery?
We registered the LLC back then, and then just started kind of like.
I'd say the last 6 to 8 months really we started to really buckle down.
Yeah.
Formulate
What we want to do.
real
with the
aesthetics.
process.
Well, we redesigned.
Yeah, redesign the aesthetic.
Away from that classic white farmhouse kind of look.
Yeah. What we wanted to,
Old look.
what we wanted to do would be able to.
Sorry, what are your upfront costs to like build the
The investment ask is 72,000, right?
72,000. Yeah, well, that's all in all.
70,000 all, like, licensing, equipment,
But
renovations,
smaller
transfer
investments
itself,
are-
like, it all adds up, but I mean, it's not much.
We're looking at about 13 grand for full renovations. The other ones are things for like marketing costs for equipment and different things.
So cold storage is one of the store.
You own the camper right now?
Camper was like really cheap recommend.
Yeah, all right.
For your potential investors, what are your backgrounds and why? Like, what was your motivation to do this? I know you talked about wanting.
Yeah, so it's actually a team of 3. My sister is in Cleveland. Is one of the reasons why we're going to be in Cleveland next when we franchise. I'm a creative director by trade. I do marketing, digital marketing. You guys. I've been doing that for about 13 years, and so I'm doing a lot of our branding, and I'm going to be doing a lot of our social media marketing, and kind of creating the voice for the company.
Yes, I was in sales for very, very too long. And then I was in hospitality, so I was a chef, private chef, and just working in Airbnbs and restaurants. So got a lot of background in hospitality and sales. So, and then his sister is in grant writing and legal stuff with all that stuff.
My sister is our COO, and she's in grant writing and also has worked in the hospitality and with multiple wineries for the past 10 years.
Where in Cleveland? Or where in
she's just outside of Little Italy. Cleveland Heights? No, not Cleveland Heights. That's on the other side. I don't know.
It's up the hill from there, right?
Up the hill and Little Italy.
You guys going to the Feast of the Assumption?
There's a lot of hills.
The what?
Feast of the Assumption. Ask her about it.
Oh.
That brick road will be shut down in about a week for a giant Italian booze fest.
I love Cleveland. Cleveland's fun. Cleveland's a fun town.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for the beers tonight.
Yes.
All local beers. Thanks.
That's on
camera.
You should have brought some from like. So if anyone has any weddings coming up, you should probably let them know. I wish I was getting married next year.
We'll blow any catering company out.
All right. Today we have a surprise presenter, Ben, our wonderful host. He is always here.
The reason why I asked is I got into the finals of the RIT Rock the Pitch. So next Thursday I'll be pitching over at the Hyatt, open to the public. About 200 plus seating, I think, is what they're open for. Tickets are $11 to $12, but you also get dinner. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I can get you the Eventbrite. But it's me and 5 other local small businesses, startups, whatever. So taking this sort of thing, scaling up a little bit bigger. Winner gets $25,000. So there's that. Also, there's a crowd vote. So you get to vote who your favorite one is, and the favorite one gets all the money from the entry fees for the tickets. So you should all come, vote for me, That would be great.
Am I getting cut?
Here's on me.
Local beers only.
Local beers only. Yeah, I saw Mortalis on there. That's my go-to.
Nice.
All right. So GLG Broadcasting Company, for a quick background, is a spin-off of the Lounge. Back in COVID, when we couldn't do the gaming lounge, we started running esports tournaments. We built software for the overlays when you watch live streams. And so for 3 years, we built that for ourselves, and now we're looking to sell it. So, what am I talking about? You're watching your favorite sports games, whether it's the NFL or whatever, and you're looking at the commentators, and you're like, I have no idea who these guys are. And then a nice graphic appears and tells you who they are. So, how do they do that? They do it with this disgusting thing, which is a bajillion computer monitors, all these different pieces of hardware and software that all have to communicate together. It's very outdated. Because it's super complicated, it makes it inaccessible to most of the people in the market, people that want to get into broadcasting and learning how to do all this sort of stuff, because it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. So our tool makes it a lot simpler. Here's an example of just a couple cameras coming in, nothing's going on, they ain't too happy, and then we release our software, and we launch our product. Our product right here on the side, that's a controller that changes what you see visually on the screen. And so now you can see how happy we are. There's all those pretty graphics. Now, I know, it looks confusing, so let me just play a quick video that kind of explains what happens. So you see I'm going to click a button here, boom, nice little easy animation appears. Then I'm going to be clicking another button and the scene's going to transition to something else. So, boom, stinger, nice. What is going on here? I'm going to choose a character, boom, something changes. That's what we do, that's our system. See, it's just easy, you just got to click and all that stuff changes. That's what we do instead of needing all of that sort of stuff. We do it on Apple. We do it on Apple. You're good, no, you're good. Good, that's the reaction I want. See how simple it is? Holy shit. So what do? We save on, here's a testimonial right here. We save on time. They don't need to take 2 to 3 hours to prepare for a show. It only takes them about 20 to 30 minutes. So not only does that save on time, but it saves on money that you have to pay someone to sit there and get ready for a show. So yeah, what do you want to pay? 3 extra hours at industry rates of $50 an hour. We can do it in less than 30 minutes. As well as it allows you to still perform at high quality graphics without burdening your computer. Our system is so efficient, you can run 4K quality graphics on a toaster. And I'm not even kidding. So our target markets, we're first starting off on the event organizer side of things. That's where we've been for the last 3 years. We're now shifting into the college esports programs, talking with directors of these growing programs across universities in the U.S. And our end market is going to be the professional streamers or your individual content creators you hear so much about on Twitch. And that's our biggest market that we're looking for. Lastly, we can do enterprise level projects or custom jobs at $20,000 a month. So for the market, we have the global broadcasting market at a whopping $332 billion. Not aiming for that, we're more focused on the video game live streaming market, which is estimated to be $12 billion as of 2022. So our marketing plan, the best way to do it is doing the broadcast ourselves. We've been live streaming for the last 3 years. When we show our stream to our thousands of followers, they can see the latest and greatest when it comes to our software. And we have hundreds of comments about how awesome it is and wanting to get involved. Lastly, social media, using short form content like TikTok and Instagram Reels to show updates and stuff like that. And then conventions, going and meeting people in person and showing off our product as well. For our competitive landscape, the broadcasting and overlay management industry is massive, but these three right here, they're the ones that are starting to get into esports and the video gaming side of things. Chiron is the biggest one, but they charge thousands of dollars at least for just one show. When our tool, we're doing a subscription-based system. The other thing that's different about us compared to the others is that we use a video game engine. So they're using their own web-based, like HTML, their own hardware, software that's just a mess and can't do what we do. By using a video game engine, we can render like 3D animations and graphics and all this sort of stuff, and we can also make it multiplayer. So our tool is already built so that you can have multiple people from around the world connecting and working on the same live stream. And you don't really see that when it comes to broadcasting. It's always in like a single room with a bunch of things. But now you can just have someone on a laptop sipping a Mai Tai on a beach performing a show. It's that simple. So for our operations, we're looking to hire local talent. Our IT has an amazing game development program, and that's the talent that we need to hire. as well as the business schools, both at RIT and U of R, to help with our sales development. We already have 3 years into this product, so we're ready for a quick turnaround. We just have a few things that we need to change. And we're already in the market. Just last week, we confirmed a deal with one of the largest esports organizations, Gen G, to run a live stream for their McDonald's NBA 2K event. So we'll be doing that in September. And I was able to tack on a little bit extra with our software. So that was really nice. Again, for development, that's our biggest thing right now. We need to just quickly hire out a few more developers so that we can get this product turned around into the mass market, finish up our product. And then we're looking to expand the sales and customer success team so that we can get to those thousands of individual content creators from around the world. Right now, it's just me as the CEO and Justin, our full-time developer, that's been working on this product for the last couple of years. One thing that I want you guys to not worry about is that our expenses are really high, and that's because in the SaaS industry, it's typical that 30% of your revenue gets directly funneled into your sales and marketing, and that's typical. You'll see that at Adobe, you'll see that across the whole board. And then in year 5, that's the big number that we're hoping for, which is $11.5 million for net income. Another thing that we're looking to add into our system is an ad revenue, sort of like subscription model. So when you subscribe to our tool, and let's say Apple wants to have their ads across all of our platform, we'll take 30% of that ad revenue, and then the 70% will go back to the people that have subscribed and using our software as promoting the Apple ad, for example. So you're watching Twitch and all of a sudden an ad comes up, we're getting 30% of it, that live stream is getting 70% of it. And then they can use that revenue that they earn from it to subscribe back to our system as well as anything off the top that now goes into their pocket, and now they can start to make a business for themselves. Right now we're looking for a $50,000 angel round so that we can get through the next 3 months, get to October where we're hoping to raise a $250,000 pre-seed round. This will allow us to really expand our team for both development and sales. That's all we need to do at this point. And then by 2024, we're looking to raise a seed round of $1 to $2 million. For our community impact, what we've already been doing is working with student groups and educating the local K through 12 when it comes to esports, gaming, and live streaming. And then we also want to create a nice funnel system where we educate those high schoolers, send them over to RIT to get their degrees, and then we hire them back here to do the whole thing over again. And some of our clients already include RCSD, the Boys and Girls Club, other esports groups, and as well as RIT esports. And if there's one thing I want you to remember, you're currently watching the NFL produced by Chiron right now, but tomorrow your kids will be watching esports produced by Chilogy.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing that it's like when you're making a picture, you could bring up a great market going forward is with the colleges, with the networks. Like I know at Syracuse, the ACC network, when they put that into place, all the schools are now required to themselves put together the content for all these other sports at the schools that gets streamed and goes on like ESPN Plus and whatever.
You're talking about like the athletic departments?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean like Syracuse right now, I mean they got the Newhouse Studios, but everybody else has got nothing.
Yeah.
So something like this could be huge for this.
Our goal is to actually get into the sports industry. It's just a whole other piece, you know.
No, but what I'm saying is that you can, like when you're talking about this and you can mention, hey, here's a future revenue potential. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying sell to that there now, you know.
So I know, like, don't know a ton about this, and a ton of Twitch made a policy change about like on-screen ads.
They were reversed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
2 days later, everyone hated them. And they reversed it.
So I guess in general, like, what are like, do you just trust that like the community will have some backlash? Like, it's
So-
possible.
Like someone asked me the other day, like, you for like the launch and the esports side of things, for like a lot on Twitter, and I'm like, well, you saw what happened with Twitter. We took a hit. We were getting like 100,000 minimum impressions a month. Now we're barely scraping 20,000. When Twitter switched over like that, it was game over. So now we had to switch to something else. Now we're more focused on LinkedIn, Instagram, Reddit, stuff like that. So like whatever's thrown at us, you're gonna have to move. When Twitch announced all that, their biggest competitor, their second biggest competitor, Kick, grew to 90 million new users as soon as Twitch announced that. That's why Twitch reversed back because they're like, wow, we just lost it. So like, there's other platforms out there that will rise and take their place if they decide to stick with it. Yeah.
You said you have been using marketing. So what's the conversion on that?
What about the marketing?
What's the conversion on your marketing?
So right now it's just been like LinkedIn posts, and we're like, well, occasionally we got the esports director will reach out and be like, hey, that was cool, can I do that? So the last one I talked to was Mary Wood or Mary or something like that, and so I haven't really been pushing it just because the product's not quite ready, but I've been pushing out like interest or whatever. It's been pretty good. Next step is getting into the conventions. Yeah.
I have 2 questions. One, how customizable are your graphics?
Right, so that's why we haven't been pushing it to the market. Right now, we have to pre-build it.
Okay.
As we're building out what is called a canvassing system, where you can then make it all yourself, and then make your own animations within it, etc. Within a year, we'll have that fully built out, but we just need the next 2-3 months to like get the minimum features required for that ability.
Cool. I have one additional question. What are your marketing plans to reach more of like the active Twitch streamers and stuff like that who want to use this platform for themselves?
So right now, it's simply just direct messaging. For example, I met with someone that's really big on Facebook, and the reason why I'm focusing on that one is because Facebook is very hard to get big live stream numbers. He did it. He's got some big numbers or whatever. And so he was very interested in it because when he's doing a live stream, he can't focus on all the different graphic stuff because he has to put on a show. So how can I make his life easier? So he'll take it, he'll use it, and then he'll talk about it. People will ask him, why is your stuff look so good? How do you do that? And then that's where it'll snowball effect by word of mouth. So focusing on like a small number of high quality content creators. Yeah.
And I just wanted to do a compliment. I work with a lot of startups, do pretty well. And I think what I love about you is you deeply understand the industry, right? You understand a lot of pain points, etc. And those are, I figured out, like the best startups, right? People come from the industry, know all the pain points, right? And it's just, getting some tech people and trying to it out. So
Thank you.
extremely successful.
Appreciate it. I wasn't planning on doing this when I started the whole thing. It was this was the plan. So then this came up and I was like, this is something. So,
And that's how it's very organic. The best startups are just people like you in the industry, and those like you make CRs and blah, that's how it started. But it's just appreciate it. You know the pain point.
I hope I would be like CR guys.
So let me get a show of hands. Who's gonna go online, sign up, and be there to support them next week?
Yeah.
Come on. Put up the link at the end so everybody can go and sign up now.
I don't have it on the laptop, but we'll send it out. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Right, Mike?
Good idea.
When you advertise with Google or TikTok or Snapchat, based on clicks or the followers you're getting or something like that, how does advertising with you work?
So you'll just link your Twitch account or your YouTube account, and so then it'll just track your, because Twitch and YouTube have like the API stuff where it just sends your average or current viewers, etc. So just linking that to it, so it knows at this point in the stream your advertisement showed up. Like it's like a lower third of revolving advertisement or whatever. There was 60 people watching that stream at that time that you were like it syncs up. Does that make sense? So like when you're live streaming, our system will connect to the API of your Twitch account.
Okay.
So at like 20 minutes into your live stream, after you hit that go live, and that system's running and it's live, it'll be, there's 60 concurrent viewers. And it knows that 60 people watched that ad at that time.
Well, just to basically count how many people or accounts are reaching.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah. It's going to assume that if Twitch is saying that you've got 60 viewers, it's got 60. Which Twitch is really good about that. Twitch is something like if you mute the live stream, you don't count as a viewer. So if you're watching a stream and you mute it, you don't count, apparently. So they're pretty good at keeping track and like seeing who's engaged in the live streams. Yeah.
How is this kind of cross-platform compatible to like if you were doing broadcasting for any other kind of sport, not just esports?
So it doesn't have to be in Twitch. So you use something like you have to use another tool to put that broadcast out there, and that's not what we just manage the overlays and the graphics.
Like I'm saying, like for like major sports events and stuff like that.
So they'll have a hardware
they have a
system.
team of people who are in a control room, like 20 people in a control room who are doing all these things, and you're saying that now they can be done by like one person clicking some buttons for like the NFL.
Well, you're probably at the NFL scale, instead of 20 people, it might be 10 people in that thing. Or at least now they can do more things that they couldn't do before. So
they don't have to sit in that room.
Yeah, they don't have to sit in that room either.
They can connect from all of them.
So,
That's right. You're gonna have to have people.
I don't have it
out
on
to
the
the.
computer here, but you just launch an executable, you log in, and
Yeah. Sitting up in the truck.
Thank you. One more?
One more. Last question.
Ben, what game engine do you use, and how do you handle a lot of streams? Like
multiple games?
Yeah, what game engine do you use? You mentioned you're using a game engine to stream it.
Oh, game engine, Unity. And then I mentioned we're going to edit development Unreal as well.
All right, thank you guys. So Ben, what's your game of choice?
Right now, Valorant.
What?
Valorant.
Yeah,
like CSGO.
Okay, cool. All right, Valorant. That's the game to play. Okay, well, that's the show tonight. Thank you all for coming. You know, I say this every time, but we really can't do it without you. So for everyone who's here all the time, thank you for being here all the time. You're amazing. We love seeing you. For all the new faces, please come back. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring whoever you want. We love to have fun. We love to do this. We love having all these companies. We're going to be doing this again in September. I don't remember the exact date, but you can find it on our website.
Third Thursday.
Third Thursday. It's usually the third Thursday. So plan on that. Come back, please. Enjoy. Have a drink. Have some pizza. Meet some cool people. And have a great rest of your night. Thank you.
Or do you have to save it?
So I click yes.